Experts say we are getting back to normal, and we are. Our unemployment rate is dropping. The new unemployment claims are even doing better than pre-pandemic levels. We are seeing workers slowly come back to work. Our economy is rebounding and things are looking better. I will address all that in today's video. First off, just want to say thank you guys for watching and welcome to your stimulus package update and daily news report for Wednesday, November 24th. We are one day away from Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys have something fun planned, spending time with friends, family, and loved ones. But let's get into the update for today. Here's what I can tell you. What we are hearing is that a lot of lawmakers are questioning what we are passing, and they're trying to pretty much come out and tell their constituents, well, here's the reason why. They're trying to justify their spending. That's creating a big problem. But one of the questions I get asked all the time is, why are Democrats pushing for so much for children and families, but nobody else? Well, according to multiple lawmakers, here's the reasons why. And this is actually coming from multiple Senate aides as well. Democrats believe that right now, the most spending can be done for children and families as opposed to other groups. They say their goal has always been to pass the most transformative piece of legislation in years. And the best way to do that is by providing legislation that's going to help out children and families. Here's what we know. Because you're probably thinking, well, the $3,600 child tax credits, that's not so transformative. And it's not. It helps out a lot of people, but that is not all they're looking at. Here's what they're looking at passing in this upcoming bill, and this is as of right now. First, up to $3,600 from the child tax credit payments. That is just for 2022 alone. We also know that 2 years of pre-K, preschool, this would save families roughly $17,200 over 2 years. Or $8,600 per year is roughly what a family spends on pre-K. Now, if you factor that in with the child care tax credits, that could save up to $8,000 per year in child care. That's $4,000 per child. Now, if you for some reason needed child care and you were sending your child to pre-K and you also get the child tax credit payments, you could receive up to $16,200 for one child per year. $16,000. That is very transformative. That's a big bill. If you got $16,000 in a year, my guess is you'd be very happy, because yes, this is big. This could be the big piece of this transformative piece of legislation that lawmakers have been discussing. But advisors on Social Security are saying that the reason why President Biden can't pass that $200 per month boost to Social Security recipients, in which he promised when he was running for president, well, they say it's because Republicans would be all over this. Republicans would completely bash Democrats for trying to do this. Advisors say that passing legislation for children and families is actually seen as an easier path forward. That's the reason why there's more benefits for children and families as opposed to people on Social Security or Medicare. Now, whether that's right or wrong, that's currently where we're at. And the reason why I bring this up, and I try to bring up Social Security here and there, it's not because I don't want to, it's because there's nothing on it. There's absolutely nothing on it. And just to give you an idea, in order to find this little bit of information where multiple Senate aides are saying how they have to pass a transformative piece of legislation, and it's easier to pass a bill for children and families as opposed to the elderly and people on Social Security and our veterans, is because it's just an easier path. That's what's crazy about this. And just to give you an idea, it took probably about 2 hours to weed through all the junk, to weed through all the information that I've already provided you guys, just to find these little bits of information. And a lot of this stuff is deep into Twitter feeds where lawmakers are responding. And it's crazy, but that's currently where we're at. There's not a lot of discussions on additional benefits outside of children and families. Okay? So as I know more there, I promise I will fill you in on those updates, but that's currently what we know regarding Social Security and why Democrats are pushing so much for children and families. Now, here's something else that we've been hearing regarding Republicans. And I want to bring this up because a lot of people have been asking, are we going to see more unemployment benefits? And the answer is possibly yes. However, it will not be in this upcoming human infrastructure bill simply because this is going to be a partisan bill. Republicans aren't going to have any say in this. But one thing we've been hearing is that Republicans are pushing to try to get additional unemployment benefits. You're probably thinking, well, that's weird because Republicans didn't want additional unemployment benefits. No, that's not what I said. Republicans didn't want enhanced unemployment benefits. They didn't want unemployment going to people that, number one, were self-employed and just didn't want to go back to work and received a $300 per week boost. That's what Republicans didn't want. They didn't want people staying home, not going back to work, just because they made more on unemployment than they would if they went back to work. Here's what Republicans want. The GOP says it is not right to block workers from their unemployment benefits simply because they opted out of getting a vaccine. They say that a federal mandate, which is illegal, by the way, this is coming from Republicans, which is illegal, by the way, should not be the reason why millions of workers are unable to collect their benefits, put food on the table, and keep a roof over their head. So, many states have already said that people that decide to opt out of getting the vaccine will still be able to collect unemployment benefits. However, not every single state is saying that. And this is where Republicans are stepping up. Republicans say that we need to make sure workers are still getting paid. We need to make sure that those that have been let go because of this vaccine mandate under President Biden, we need to make sure these families still have a way to pay their bills. So, while many people are not working right now, we are getting some very interesting reports, and I think these numbers from the Department of Labor are very interesting. Here's what I can tell you. The Labor Department shows that last week we saw unemployment claims fall to 199,000. Keep in mind that the normal rate, the weekly claims that we would see pre-pandemic was about 220,000. We fell below pre-pandemic levels. We were sitting at 199,000. Okay? They were expecting 260,000 unemployment claims. So we came very low, 199,000. That's big. This is the lowest level we have seen since November 1969. Yes, 1969. It's been a long time. And according to a chief U.S. economist, she says that policymakers will have to shift their focus next year from price pressures to a complete labor market recovery. Now, currently, we have about 10 million job openings. We have an unemployment rate of 4.6%. They are expecting it to drop at least to 4.5%, possibly 4.4% for next month. And yet, we are seeing labor shortages all over the place. Here's what we can tell you. One report shows that international migration has really impacted the U.S. And it's actually impacted us for about 5 years. Since about 2016, we are estimated to have a shortfall of about 2.1 million people. And those 2.1 million people would greatly reduce the amount of open positions. Now, here's what I can tell you. If lawmakers have to go from okay, we have to worry about inflation, okay, the price pressures right now. And again, this is what Senator Joe Manchin has been fighting for over the past couple of months is we're seeing massive inflation in gas prices, okay? That's huge, right? The price of just everyday products and services, they're staggering. The gallon of milk, right? Everything's going up. So if lawmakers have to go from price pressures to a complete labor market recovery, how would they do that? What would be in the next bill? And again, I bring this up because even though this human infrastructure bill, the Build Back Better Act, right? Even though this at $1.75 trillion doesn't have a lot of stimulus included, the expectation as of this morning is the next bill, The next bill that even John Yarmouth has been talking about for the past couple of months, the next bill is going to be bigger. And the next bill, according to reports this morning, will be even more transformative than this one. So the expectation at this time is this bill, the human infrastructure bill, at $1.75 trillion could potentially be cut even more just to get it passed through the Senate. It will be kicked back to the House, pretty much just rubber stamped, sent over to President Biden, signed into law. That will pretty much just end this year, okay? That would just pretty much get us back to, okay, now let's get the other things done, whatever else the Senate needs to do, right? But the expectation is coming up in 2022, we will see the next budget reconciliation bill. And this next bill is going to put more pressure for the labor market recovery. At least that's the expectation as of this morning. So we'll see what happens. And as I know more, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates on that as well. But let's talk about gas prices while we're here. Many consumers have been asking, how much is the gas price going to go down per gallon? Is it going to go down like $1, $1.50, right? How far? Well, here's what I can tell you. Right now, President Biden, he did unlock 50 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. This happened just yesterday. But according to many, they don't believe that this is going to do much for gas prices. Now, here's what we know. Normally, the U.S. averages it's about 18 to 19 million gallons or million barrels of oil per day. In 2020, we were sitting about 6 million barrels of oil, so about a third. Well, right now with that 50 million barrels of additional oil, this is going to give the U.S. roughly 2.7 days of additional supply, right? Sounds good. But how much will gas prices actually drop? Here's what I can tell you. Historically, gas prices normally drop and they normally decrease. I'm not going to say drop because drop usually means it's a significant bump. Okay, so gas prices normally decrease a little bit between December and January every single year just because there's less demand. But with an additional 50 million barrels of oil, how much will gas prices drop? Well, experts are predicting that over the next couple of months, we could see gas prices per gallon drop anywhere from 10 cents per gallon up to 35 cents per gallon. That's a decent drop, especially when gas prices are at $3.43, nationwide. So if they drop 35 cents per gallon, that's almost 10%. It's almost a 10% decline. So that's actually pretty good. So it will be cheaper, but as to how much cheaper, honestly, we don't really know. We'll just have to wait and see. But experts do say we are not going to be anywhere near where we were in the beginning of 2020. So if you expect gas prices to drop down to $2.11 per gallon nationwide, chances are it's not going to happen. But this is one of the big things that Senator Joe Manchin has been worried about is gas prices. He's worried about inflation. Is it going to hurt even more people? Well, he's actually called on Democrats to consider pausing their discussions of the upcoming human infrastructure bill because he says it would make more sense to pass it in 2022. This has long been his argument for the past few months. But what we know is yesterday, Senator Joe Manchin said this, and I quote, "I continue to call on President Biden to responsibly increase energy production here at home and to reverse course to allow the Keystone XL pipeline to be built, which would have provided our country with up to 900,000 barrels of oil per day from Canada, one of our closest allies." And then he went on to say, "To be clear, this is about American energy independence and the fact that hardworking Americans should not depend on foreign actors like OPEC for our energy security and instead focus on the real challenges facing our country's future." So, what he is saying is we need to depend on ourselves. We need to buy stuff. We need to produce stuff here at home. We need to be more self-sufficient in order to really push ourselves into the future. And over the past few years, many people have said the exact same thing. We need to, split ourselves off from China. We can't be 100% reliant on China. which we still are very reliant on China and other countries. So he's pretty much saying we need to pretty much provide for our own country's future, not rely on somebody else. So we'll see if this happens. I don't expect Senator Joe Manchin to pretty much, push President Biden into opening up the Keystone XL pipeline, but we do hear a lot of reports that there's a lot of issues with that, and that is something that President Biden wanted to do. He did it. Well, we got to live with it now. He made that decision, and we'll see what happens from now on. But let's talk about booster shots for a second. And I want to bring this up because over the past probably week or so, I've been getting a bunch of questions from people asking, should they get a booster shot? Should they wait? Should they wait till after the holidays? If they have people over, should they get it? Right? So on and so forth. Here's what I can tell you. Health experts are advising every single person out there, as soon as you can get a booster shot, to go and get it. Because if you have waited, let's say 6, 8 months or a year from your vaccination, chances are, your immunity has dropped. Simply because the antibodies in your system, they do go away. So they don't stay there. So what they're saying right now is get your booster shot as soon as you possibly can. Doesn't matter if it's during the week, if it's on a holiday, it doesn't matter, get it. But I want to address that in just a second, so make sure you stick with me. What I can tell you though, there are actually 5 main symptoms that people are experiencing from getting the booster shot, and these are them in order. First one is a headache. You get a headache, and some experts are saying do not take medications, let your body deal with it. But according to a lot of people that I know, take some medication. If you do not take medication, you will have a very, very tough time. The second one is a fever. This is common. This was common in the vaccinations as well. So a headache, a fever. The next one is fatigue. You're just going to be tired. You're going to have a little bit of pain. It's going to be mostly up, close to your arms, your chest, and you're going to have chills. Some people experience all 5. Some people will experience all 5, not in the same time, but in just different parts of their body, different times. So just understand this will happen. Now, according to a recent report, people who get their booster shots are recommended to stay home from work or school for at least 24 hours and possibly even 48 hours. The reason why is because symptoms will last about a day or two. So even though some say if you can get the shot during the week or the weekend or the holidays, just go and do it, what I can tell you based on a lot more research is that no. If you have a headache, fever, fatigue, pain, and chills, you got all 5 symptoms, you're not going to want to go to work. Your child is not going to want to go to school. You are probably not going to want people over for the holidays. So I say, just based off this research, make sure you get your shot possibly on a Friday, so that let's say you don't work on the weekends, you could recover a little bit Friday afternoon, Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday, and hopefully by Monday morning you're ready to go back to work or go back to school. So that's what we know as of right now. But again, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. Again, so thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Hopefully tomorrow you have an incredible Thanksgiving as well. Let me know, are you going to have some turkey? And if you are going to celebrate Thanksgiving, what is your favorite side dish? Is it stuffing, mashed potatoes? What is it? Let me know down in the comment section below. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.